Yeah. Hello everyone. This is a quick follow-up video to my last post, which was about creating a histogram using a pivot chart in Excel. In that video, I had an already set up frequency table, a frequency table for the data. Now, sometimes you won't actually have your data already set up in a frequency table. So this video is about how you get random data that is in just one column into a frequency table and then into your pivot chart for either a histogram, column graph, or whatever you want to put it into. Okay, on my screen you can see that there is some data over here in column A. We are listed as the score, and there are numbers between 1 and 9, and they go all the way down to here. Okay, just randomly selected digits between 1 and 9. So all I'm going to do, I'm just going to highlight all that data, just like I did before. I might need to do that again. Let's try that again. Highlight all my data all the way down to that last little digit, and I've got that highlighted. So now I'm going to choose my pivot chart and get that all sorted. So I go up to my Insert tab, go over to Pivot Chart, select my pivot chart just like I did in the last video, and get it all up. So you can see here it looks quite a lot like it did before. Over here though, instead of having two options, I just have the one option. So all I'm going to do, because what I would like to see is I would like to see the summations of the scores. I want Excel to tally up my scores for me. So I'm going to click this little box, and you can see there I already now have a summation part there to my spreadsheet. So now if I want to get it all separated out, because we can see the sum of the scores is 258, obviously that's not going to help us very much. I'm going to now drag that down. That gives me my graphs. So over here now we can see that there is a frequency table, and then in here is just all my column graph, all my data set up. So numbers between 1 and 9. And you can see here it is actually a fairly nice, pretty close to standard distribution, and I did that fairly randomly. So in here I'm going to choose how I want my the basics of how I want my graph to look. I'm going to use this one today. I'm going to go over to Quick Layout, choose my histogram. I can choose any other type of layout. I can do this type. You can see there's a bunch of different types there that we can choose for that particular set of data. So I'm going to go back to histogram and just going to fiddle around with some of the bits and pieces. I'm going to change the outline to black to make it a little bit nicer. And in there you can even change the weight. Might make it a little bit thicker. So there's all these little bits and pieces that we can do. So that's how you have it. Now, if you happen to have some data where you have organized it in a way that makes sense to you and makes sense to your readers and your audience, but Excel decided that some of the order of how your data sits isn't quite right. So it's putting a 10 in front of a 6 because it's picking up that digit of 1 ahead of the 6. Can do that occasionally where it picks that up. All you have to do, if you go over here to your column over here to your frequency table, you can see that I've just selected that 2. If I want that 2 to move to a different spot, see how my cursor now is that little downwards arrow? I left click and hold. Whoops. Left click and hold. We needed that little cross one. And I can move it to there. So again, I'm going to move that around. I'm going to get up that four-way arrow, and I'm going to move that piece of data. And you can see here over here, My 2 is now after the 4. My 3 is now after the 6. Now, obviously, that is not going to be the right way around. So we can just move that back to where it goes. And all the other things from the previous video all still apply. Hopefully that was helpful to you. Hopefully that helps you get more out of Excel spreadsheets and the use of the data functions and pivot tables. Thank you for watching.